Hi folks, today I'm talking about two icons of South Africa. That is why I titled this video, The Mandela, The Mandela in Malema. The Mandela in Malema. When you are talking of bravery, when you are talking of forthrightness, when you are talking of speaking your mind out without caring whose us is God, when you are talking of addressing the white the same way you address the black, when you are talking of people who don't feel inferior within themselves, when you are talking of Africanists, we are talking of nationalists, we are talking of those who love their fatherland, we are talking about Madiba, the great Madiba himself, Nelson Mandela. Then his younger brother or his grandson, that we can call his grandson, Malema. I'm going to give you the two examples. But first of all, let's look at the great Madiba.
I cherish the ideal of a new South Africa where all South Africans are equal. For anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation. Apparently, Mr. Copper, you have not listened to my argument. If you have done so, then you have not been serious in examining it. I have replied to one of our friends here that I have refused to be drawn into the differences that exist between various communities inside the USA. You have not commented that I am going to offend anybody by refusing to involve myself in the internal affairs of the USA. of the USA. Why are you so keen that I should involve myself in the internal affairs of Cuba and Libya?
No.
I expect you to be consistent. I don't know if I have paralyzed you.
No. I'm afraid, Mr. Mandela, that paralysis does not set in quite that easily in my case. The point...
See one example. Did you see that? You see how he completely mesmerized that guy, the white folks. He mesmerized him. You know, sometimes when the white folks talk to you, they have this aura of superiority around them. They see you as inferior. They see you as less human. They see you as somebody that is less intelligent. They want to talk to you anyhow. But look at how the great Madiba just deflated him. He couldn't say anything because he had nothing to say. That's the typical Madiba I'm talking about. When you're talking of nationalists, people who are ready to die for the cause they believe in, people who are ready to die for fatherland, you are talking of great Nelson Mandela. Look at him.
Then you were convicted in 1964 for conspiracy against the state. And when you pleaded, You said that I am willing to die for this cause. This is a very tough thing to say.
Yes, I had to say that, not from a spirit of bravado, but because I genuinely felt that they were going to hang us. And it is the desire of every freedom fighter to disappear under a cloud of glory rather than that of shame. It is the task of a freedom fighter, when you see that the end of your days has come, to live a tradition of bravery, determination to face even death for your principles. And I thought about it. It was not because I was brave, but because one had a duty to perform at that moment.
I have dedicated my life to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons will live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an idea for which I hope to live for and to see realized. But my Lord, if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Did you hear that? So when you compare him with much, much younger Malema, who is taking the baton now, who's taking the gauntlet and facing the white, telling it exactly the way it should be told. We are talking about Julius Malema. I just can't help but admire this guy. He is not afraid of anybody. I think this is a typical leader that South Africa needs right now to actually liberate her completely out of all this fear of white, fear of the Boers and all that. It is this type of guy. You see, he lent credence to what I said about Chidinma, for instance. Look at what he said about Chidinma.
This lady of a beauty contest, Miss South Africa, Chidinma. Twitter, hey, Chidinma, hey, we supported Chidinma. We still do. Why? It's a black person. You don't say support black people and a black person gets attacked in a manner they did, and you keep quiet and then come and preach black unity. Where a black person is attacked, you must first defend and ask after what happened. But the mother defrauded the papers already. Way now your mother man, go and fix that thing. You don't. Hey. We don't know what were the reasons those people did what they did. We've never dared to ask. But we equally don't know, for such a long time, why are we hearing about Chidinma today when she's about to become Miss South Africa against white contestants? Twitter was against us, by the way. Even noticeable faces of EFF were against us. We stood firm. Because we don't care what the trends are saying. Always stand on the side of the truth.
You heard that?
Your citizenship is determined by where you were born. So if she was born here, she's South African. It doesn't matter who they are. She's not her parents. She's herself.
So why do you want to say she's from Nigeria or she's from Mozambique? She was born here. In America, actually, I don't know how many months. If I'm not wrong, if you are 6 months pregnant or so, they don't allow you to visit. Because they know that once you visit and you stay there and you give birth there, that child is American. Yeah, they know that as long you don't have to be American.
Yeah.
It's born in a hospital there.
Yeah.
Must be certified immediately that this is the child who was born in America. This is an American citizen. So we can't do that. We cannot punish people on the basis of where their parents come from.
Yeah.
So I've not followed the debate. I don't know if she's South African or not. But I would guess the Miss South Africa company would have done the necessary due diligence and come to a conclusion that she's a suitable candidate to contest.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are actually engineered by those who are spreading hatred amongst African people. Such people should not be supported.
That the people who organize that pageant, they ought to have done their due diligence, which I believe they did, and if they found the poor girl qualified, competent enough to vie for that position, why along the line she was shortchanged? You heard, Malema on that. He kind of supporting my line in my previous video. Look at another one, he said.
Today, you look at a fellow African, you listen to the pronunciation of a fellow African, you listen to the name and the surname of a fellow African, and by that you isolate them. You look at them and say, these are not South Africans. These are Nigerians. This can't be Miss South Africa. This can't be that. Marfel Yoon can be a player of rugby, South Africa, and get celebrated. No one will dare to question, where does this name of Felyoun come from? Because we've been made to celebrate that which looks down at us. Anything that looks like you, you hate. Anything that sounds different from you, you hate. You know, comrades, the concept makwere comes from the tribalists who could not hear the other ones. When you speak, the tribalists, they say they don't hear you, but because they can't hear your language. When you speak, they hear. So you can't use that. You can't use that to want to rule out individuals. Comrades, we are hated everywhere else in the world. Everywhere else where black people are found. It doesn't matter their accent. They can speak the best English they want to speak, best accent. As long as the color of their skin looks like mine, they will be isolated. You get isolated to a point where even when you go to China, a young person who has never been exposed to a black person, when they see you, they start trying to clean you. But it looks like you are dirty. Because that's how we're being looked at. So where do we get the privilege with so much hate happening against us? Where do we get the privilege to hate on each other? If the unity of Africa is not important, why are they fighting against it so much? If it was this useless thing that has got no meaning, why is there such a big fight? They know that the only way they could conquer Africa, they had to divide it. They divided Africa. They gave it to all types of countries to manage. Our coming together is a threat to Europe, it's a threat to America. Our coming together, it means one currency backed by our mineral resources. And that currency will be against the dollar. And it will be more powerful than the dollar. Our coming together means one parliament, which means there will never be pockets of dictators who take over governments in Africa through a barrel of a gun. Why? There is one body which makes laws for the whole of African continent. There are no separate laws. There is one president for the whole of Africa. There is one military command in the whole of Africa. When they say they are rebels at the border of Rwanda and DRC, we call on the African command to go and make peace at that part of Africa without asking for the UN to come and help us.
You heard him? So this is the typical Malema that I know, the great Africanist. He wants all Africans to unite. He doesn't want all this bickering, infighting among Africa because according to him, like most of us know, we have a common enemy. They are not Africans. These are people who don't want us to unite. They know the power of unity and they do everything to sow seed of discord amongst us. Malema knows them, just like many of us. So he is fighting tooth and nail, making sure that Africans unite so that we can together face our common foes, not amongst us. Anyway, beyond all the irritants that are sowing seed of discord, beyond the irritants of xenophobia, beyond the irritants of drug dealing, and some of you accuse some Nigerians all, beyond the irritant of criminality and all that, President Ramaphosa and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they met recently. What did they discuss? Hear it.
People. We look forward to seeing more Nigerian companies investing in South Africa. In fact, we want to see Nigerian products on the shelves of South African shops. Our efforts to create a favorable environment include our simplified visa process for Nigerian business people to travel to South Africa.
You see that? There are so many commonalities between Nigeria and South Africa. We cannot fight. These are the things we have to harness. Did you hear that?
We look forward to seeing more Nigerian companies investing in South Africa. In fact, we want to see Nigerian products on the shelves of South African shops. Our efforts to create a favorable environment include our simplified visa process for Nigerian business people to travel to South Africa.
You hear what the president said? I just hope Nigeria will take advantage of this opportunity that is being given by South African president. Those with honest business motive to go there and actually make sure that they take advantage of putting Nigerian business also on the spotlight in South Africa, just the same way we have it in Nigeria. Yes. Yes.
We can identify the gaps and challenges, including persistent irritation in relations, and deal with them appropriately.
See, the irritants, those who are sowing seed of discord, and those who are actually spoiling the ground for those who have honest intention, they have to be dealt with. Did you hear that? The president said the irritants have to be decisively dealt. The same way I said, some of you were quarreling with me in my other video that Nigerians come there, they deal in draw, they do all this. I said, look, the best way to handle that is to deal with them, isolate them and deal with them. That's exactly what the president is saying now. That's the best way. We cannot but find people like that in every situation, in every community, in every society. They are there. But your law must be active enough to deal with these people. You don't have to treat them with kid glove. You see what the president himself said. You see those who are dealing in drug in your country or doing or contravening your law, arrest them, deal with them decisively. So you heard the two presidents agreeing on this now. This is the way to go. Well, it is hoped that the two leaders will use the opportunity of this bilateral talk to to fashion out policies that will foster good relations by smoothing all the rough edges of xenophobia, of hatred for one another, of criminality, of dealing in drugs, and all those things that have been acting as irritants between the two countries. It is hoped that these bilateral talks will be an opportunity where all those issues will be ironed out so that there will be a good relations between Nigeria and South Africa. Trade relations will go smoothly, social relations will go smoothly, and every other area. These are the ways by which we can really go smoothly into integration that will be recognized worldwide. If South Africa and Nigeria can be the pivot by which all Africa can actually ascend this level we are expecting Africa to ascend, so that Africa also will be in the reckoning of the world as a whole. It will be wonderful. So let's keep this hope alive. And meanwhile, the issue of Chidinma and others, let's make it bygone. Let the bygone be bygone. Let's hope that what is happening in South Africa now between the two leaders will just be the tonic that we need in Africa to actually smoothen all the rough edges and get into a better relationship than this for the benefit of the two countries in particular and Africa as a whole. God bless you all. As usual, I come in peace again, as you know, always. This is Dr. Femi Adegbulu, the only peacemaker who comes to the peace table with the weapon of mass destruction, the truth, because he says it the way it is. Folks, if you are just, visiting us for the first time, I urge you to subscribe so that you get juicy news like this all the time. Okay? If you are a regular, I want to thank you again for your consistency and for your faith in this channel, knowing fully well that whenever there is a new upload, you'll be the first to get it. I know so far you have not been disappointed. Thank you so much. Don't forget to press the notification button. More importantly, engage me. Let's discuss further. I know you have things to say. Let's begin right away on the comment button. Let's see there. Till I come your way again, don't forget to stay out of trouble so that we'll meet in peace. Dr. Femi Adegbulu signs out. Thank you.